Hello my friends, Knucklehead 1156 here. We're going to go ahead and start doing our first dry run assembly of the ZMR 250 frame that I'm working on. You just saw the video hopefully of me unboxing the hardware that I just received from Hobby King, all the purple and green stuff, titanium screws, etc. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a step-by-step dry assembly of this frame to look for manufacturer defects, missed requirements on hardware, just basically making sure that this frame goes together the way it's supposed to go together, so that when we get all the electronics, I don't have to worry about running out of a piece of hardware or having something deformed from the factory. From first look, the frame looks pretty good, but you never know what you're going to run into until you start putting it together. So let's start this dry run.
Okay, step number 1. Grab the bottom deck, your 8 standoffs, washers, and screws. You may be noticing that I am missing a purple standoff. You know how I referenced missing hardware or misordering hardware before you build? Guess what? I was one short in the purple, so I already ordered replacements. They should be here this afternoon, so that'll rectify that problem. But until then, we're just going to use one of the red ones that are supplied in the box. So this is all you need to begin the first step of assembly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these standoffs, these screws, these washers, and we're going to mount them all on this deck. Alright, here we go. Okay, I just finished mounting our standoffs onto the bottom deck. It's looking killer. I love the purple with the carbon. I love how these countersunk washers and screws are going together. The silver color of the titanium with the purple, it just looks so good. It may not be super functional. You say, hey, well, what's the advantage of having that? You know, the engineering part of me says, well, you're not going to have to worry about them backing out as much because you have more surface area contact between the screw and the washer and the board, but I don't put too much faith in that. I mean, there's not really any benefit to having those washers except for the force of the screw is distributed evenly around the carbon, so you're less likely to have a crack in the carbon there if you crash. So there's one possible reason, but mainly I just like how it looks. Look how cool that looks. Oh, it just looks so good. Anyway, so our next step, we're going to take our newly mounted bottom deck, we're going to connect it to our power distribution board, and we're going to sandwich our arms in there. We are going to use the supplied nylon washers to keep the power distribution board from short-circuiting on the carbon from the arms, and we're going to use the provided hardware to mount those arms. There's an oversight that I made. I'm going to go ahead and order some longer titanium screws. I might keep them steel, but I'll get like a anodized purple screw, and I can get some anodized purple 3mm lock nuts as well. So I'm going to use these for now, but I am going to get some matching colored hardware to fit the theme of this build. So let's get those on there. Okay, as you can see, we have the arms and the power distribution board connected. I only put tension on one of each of these set of 4 screws just to hold it together, because it'd be a little extra time trying to crank those all down nice and tight and then take them all off again when I'm done. So I just tightened one down just to make sure it all goes together. So it's going together pretty well. As I was assembling this, I decided that green hardware for these mounts right here would accent really nicely with the purple. Give it a little bit of a, since it is purple and green theme, I don't want to go all purple on the hardware. So I think I'm going to get myself some green steel socket screws or button head screws with green 3mm lock nuts for that. I think that just looked really good, so I'm gonna get those coming. The next step, we're gonna fasten the top deck onto the top of our quad frame, as well as the camera mount plate. I've taken a look at this and did a couple of just to see if it slid together. I think one issue you're gonna have with these is that these tabs are milled almost exactly the same size as the holes in the trays. So what you may have to do is take a needle file or something and shave a little material off of the corners of these posts so that they slide nicely into the deck. But we'll see if we can't get it to fit without doing that. So more washers, more screws. Let's put it together. Okay, I finished getting the top deck on. As you can see, I was unsuccessful in getting this to fit into the slots they have milled for it. It is just too tight. So I'm going to have to come back later with a file and take off some material a little at a time, carefully, because it's carbon, until that just is a nice and snug fit and goes together easily. But otherwise, it's looking pretty sharp. I really love the effect that these washers and screws kind of have on the look of the frame. I foresee a little bit of an issue with mounting my batteries up here, because these do add about 2 millimeters of height to the top deck. So when you're putting your batteries on, if it's a wider battery, it's probably going to hit that and not grab the Velcro strap if you have a strap down here. But you know, I can cope with that. So it's looking pretty sharp. It's going to look really good once I get this red post out of here and the green hardware on there and start getting it together. It's just going to look great. So that's it for the first dry run. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it's probably a little bit long and boring. Nothing super fancy happening here yet. I'm really pleased with how it's looking. The purple hardware is accenting with the carbon fiber really nicely. I'll post some pictures once I get that green hardware for the arms. It's just going to look really sharp, so I'm thrilled. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. There will be more to come. I'm going to do a couple more dry runs, but I will not post videos about those because it'll just be a reiteration of what I just did. So you probably won't see another build video of this machine until I get some serious electronics, like my speed controllers or motors. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Questions or comments, don't be shy. Please leave them in the bar and I'll get back to you. So, have a wonderful day. Thank you again.